Hi everyone, it's Nyx. I've not really done a video like this before, but I'm going to give it a go, so grab yourself a drink, get comfortable, and I'm going to talk about something that's quite important to me. So recently somebody asked me, how do I cope with discouragement from doing what I want to do, and how do I cope with the sort of mental block, inner turmoil that comes with that? It was really interesting to think about because I go through a lot of self-doubt personally. I think lots of people do, but unlike lots of people, I'm really good at stepping on it and just getting on with things anyway. And I've been through a lot of, not being able to do the things that I want to do. Sometimes it's from people who don't want you to achieve your dreams, don't want to help you. And other times it's just all in your head, I think a lot of people know that feeling. So if you're willing to listen for a few minutes, I want to talk about positivity and rituals and how I personally get out of bed in the morning and do the things that I need to do even when I don't feel like it. It's really important to have goals. I think that might be the most important thing that I'm going to talk about. I have this big ambition with NyxRising Industries, which is, it's not about channel views or subscriber count or anything like that. I really want to build a community. I want to be able to offer you guys entertainment, but at the same time I want you to have a safe space to interact with one another and share your interests and connect with one another. That's a lot of work to get that done. That's a hell of a lot of work. I personally put about 30 plus hours a week work into the channel, filming videos and editing them and doing everything that I do online and coming up with new video ideas, just building and building and building. And I love to do that, I really do, but I think if I didn't have goals, if I didn't have realistic, reachable goals that I could celebrate every time I hit one, it would be a lot harder to do. Getting past the mental block, getting past the criticism, it's about motivation, and a lot of motivation stems from counting your past successes. You've got to have small goals, you've got to have things that you can achieve on a day-to-day basis. Like for us, today I want to interact with 10 people who watch our videos, or for me personally, today I want to write 500 or 1,000 words of my book. You can write these things down on a piece of paper and you can tick them off like a list when you hit them, and you would be amazed at just how encouraging it can be to see yourself succeed, no matter how small or easy the task was. At the same time, you've also got to have big goals. The biggest goal for us, we want to hit 10,000 subscribers on this channel by our second channel anniversary, which is in August 2017. And that's not going to be easy to do, that's a huge goal. But do I think we can do it? Definitely. We're going to have to put our backs into it, but nothing worth having is easy. And once it's a goal, you can make a plan, and then you can knock steps off one by one, and there's a chance you're going to reach your goal. Which is better than not setting one at all and not even getting close. You can do anything that you set your mind to. I know I'd be really disappointed in myself if I set a goal and I failed only because I didn't put the work in I know I needed to achieve it. Half the motivation with goals is the fear of failure keeping me going, and the other half is the incredible feeling that I get when I reach one, When I wake up in the morning, I don't think like, oh, I can't do that, not today. I just think, I have to do that, I can't not do it. I think to myself, what new videos would people like to see? What would make them smile? And then I try and do it. There's always going to be negative thoughts. There's always going to be nagging doubts in your head that say that you're not good enough, that you shouldn't even try, but you have to crush them. You have to take it in and acknowledge it and then just get on with things. I know it sounds like the hardest thing in the world, but every successful person who's ever achieved what they set out to do has had these nagging doubts. They've had discouragement from people, and they've just told them where to stick it and just done the thing anyway. I try to live by a lot of positive living stuff because my head's a big mess, and I think if I ever gave into it, I'd just lay down on the floor and never move again. I find that the intake of things that make me feel more positive directly correlates to how well I do at the things that I set out to do. I read somewhere that failure is not the opposite of success, it's just part of it, and by that same merit I think discouragement is just part of it as well. Plus, I like to grab onto the fact that winning against all the odds sort of appeals to me, The positive living thing really helps with negative thoughts in general. It's not just about achieving goals. It's not like, be more positive, because I know that's a really hard thing to do. It's more like forcing yourself to take steps in the direction you want to go and towards the life that you want to lead. Lists help, writing things down helps, and taking in as much positive stuff as possible, talking to positive people, and watching movies that make you smile, reading books. It's like rituals. So one of my rituals is that I keep 2 diaries. One of them is a negative thoughts diary, and I write down any of the nasty, intrusive thoughts that come into my head that would threaten to keep me from doing the things that I want to do. I just grab my diary and I scribble down a sentence or two, or if it's really bad, sometimes I end up writing a few pages. But then I close the book, and once I've closed the book, it's like it's gone. It's like I've literally closed the cover on that thought, and I can move on with things. It sounds too simple to actually work, but it does work. It's like closing out those thoughts for the time being, so you can just clear your head and get on with things. The other one is a positivity journal. This is quite a new thing for me. I've just picked it up, but it's doing amazing things. The one I use is called the 5-minute journal, and it literally takes 3 minutes in the morning and 2 minutes before bed to write. And it's got prompts and stuff. It asks you to write down what went well in the day, daily affirmations, what could have been better, and it's super easy to do. And you find yourself looking back over a few pages and going, actually, yeah, that was a really positive week for me, despite whatever else may have happened. When I was at university, I wrote notes for myself, and if you don't want to commit to a diary for whatever reason, this is a good thing. So whenever I had a negative thought, I'd grab myself a piece of paper, a post-it note, and I'd scribble down the opposite positive thing, and then I'd stick it up on my wardrobe so that I could look at it every day. It was always right there in my face. It's like waking up and seeing it every day really cements it in your head like a ritual, where you're reinforcing the positive vibes of you are good enough, you can do this, you are capable. It's the stuff you really need to hear, and it's right there in your face when you need it. I think positive reinforcement is really the only way to do well at things, but I don't get that from a whole lot of places, and so I just do it for myself. That's the thing, you can offer that to yourself. You don't need to get that from other people if they're not offering it freely already, and you are enough. Everything you need to do well and to be happy, it already exists within you, and no one can take that away from you. I've been talking for ages now, so I'm going to round this off, but if anyone found this video helpful, I might do another one, because there's loads more stuff that I haven't said yet that I could talk about. I'm going to leave you with a couple of suggested books. The first one is The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. It's a short story, and I'd recommend it to anyone. It literally saved my life when I was a teenager reading it. The second one is The Element by Ken Robinson. It's a book about finding your passion and turning it into success, sort of doing what you love as a career and so on like that. It's that whole concept of if you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life, and that's how I feel about the YouTube stuff that we do. Even though I put all of this time and all of this work into it, I love it so much that I'm so happy to do it. It doesn't feel like work at all. It's just incredible to have a hobby that brings other people happiness, you know? If you can't afford the books, Ken Robinson does TEDTalks and stuff on the subject. I'll put some links in the description for you to look at. Anyway, if anyone finds this information helpful or useful, please just pay it forward. Just help someone else who might need someone to talk to, pass the information on, and let's get a real positive vibe going for 2017. Finally, if you're itching to do something really good this year, we're doing a charity fundraiser for the charity Lumos in 2017. We're going to do a video about it soon, but if you can donate anything, even just a small amount, that would be great. We have a page at www.justgiving.com/NyxRising where you can donate any amount that you want to. Thanks for listening, tribe, and if you want to see any more videos like this, just let me know.